Please introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Manase Sefatlhe, and the combat name is Dr. Patrick Sambata, but not a doctor in the form of medicine or whatever. I joined the struggle in 1976, like most of the June 16 students, protesting against the introduction of Afrikaans as a medium of instruction in our school. And immediately after that, I was recruited into the ranks of the ANC underground inside the country, mainly by Ntate Matthews, who is living about 3 houses from here, and Winnie Mandela, who is not far from here. It's the 3rd street from here, where she was staying, him and Nelson Mandela. I went to Swaziland underground under the disguise that we were going to attend some kind of a music festival. I remember that festival was organized by the former tycoon called Ndate Shabalala, who was apparently also was he a mayor or a councillor at the time? I'm not sure. Then we met the ANC in exile, and immediately sent me back to come and recruit others to join Mkhonto Wesizwe and the African National Congress in particular. Then I stayed for quite a long time doing underground work of the ANC. And then somebody spied on us, and I was arrested for 14 months in solitary confinement. That's where I met the late chair of the SSRC, Montisi. I also met my next door cell. Do we call it a cell? Yeah. What's his name again? That was. I'll remember his name, but I met quite a number of people. I met one of them was George Twala, who was also an activist that is in prison, number 4. I met his brother also, who was Twala. I met Willie Bukalo, who was also arrested for what they called Terrorism Act. Then after 14 months I was released and joined the African National Congress in Swaziland again, taken to Tanzania, and then from Tanzania I went to Cuba for studies. That was in 1979. I joined the Radio Freedom, which was the mouthpiece of Mkhonto Wesizwe. In 1983. And then in 1983, 85, let me say, the ANC decided that they should actually upgrade my skills. I went to the Tanzania School of Journalism for 2 years, did a diploma there. And after that, the ANC wanted me to go and do my formal military training, which I did in Kibashe, Angola, until we formally withdrew from Angola around 1989, officially, around December. Then, from then, I was actually assigned to do editing of Pagamani, which was the religious magazine of the ANC, for almost a year. And thereafter, I was taken back to Tanzania to head the Department of Information and Publicity and Radio Freedom until our repatriation in 1992. Then I came back to the country. By the way, I joined the struggle at the age of, I was 16 years by then. And I remember I lost a very powerful friend. Hastings Ndlovu on that day was basically the first person to be shot dead by the Boers, and not Hector Peterson as it is normally interpreted, but Hastings Ndlovu was the first person to be shot. We were at Orlando North together, which was a secondary school by then.
And in that moment when he was shot, do you still have any trauma or?
Of course. By the way, that was my best friend. It was for the first time in my entire life to lose a person close to me like that. We were not actually treated for trauma. Even when we went to exile, the ANC didn't know anything like trauma. Even if we came back from exile, we were not given any treatment to that effect. But I think that thing dealt with me psychologically. Even today, I still have those nightmares, you know. I was young by then, 17. Hastings Ndlovu was also 17. Yeah.
And when you decided to go to the army, was your family aware of your decision?
No, my family was not aware. We had very, very strict parents who were not involved in the struggle, who never wanted us to be part of the struggle, because the Boers had instilled that fear in them. By the way, I was living with my grandmother, and then my mother was not living with us. I never lived with my mother. And imagine my grandmother by then, very afraid of the Boers, respected the Boers. Maburu atlalibulaya maburu. Must never participate in this thing. Bona Mandela ukotronko. You know, those things, you know. That's it.
And why didn't you join the SANDF?
Well, maybe I skipped that part. I did join the Defense Force, but I only stayed for 2 months. The reason being that I did not like the treatment that we were getting there. And the rank that they gave me a very junior rank, which was lieutenant. Was it? Is it? Yes. Was it lieutenant colonel, something like that? And I felt that given my education and experience, I did not deserve that. So I was immediately demobilized from the army through my request, and went back to the job that I spoke about, which was the project of the Communist Party the South African, the ANC, and then COSATU. Yes, that's it.
Is there anything else?
Anything else that I can tell you is that I'm very, very much disappointed with the way the ANC treated its soldiers. As we speak, maybe you are aware that others are just starting to get their pension now. Since our return from 1990 after the release of Nelson Mandela. The ANC has other people right now that seem to not to understand what the ANC is all about, who are basically isolating, in particular, members of Umkhonto weSizwe. And I want to believe that most of the people who have joined the ANC today have joined it for the sake of chelete, money, and that's why we have such a lot of corruption in the ANC, and that is worrying us. When we spoke about the renewal in the ANC, we thought by now we would have cleaned the ANC out of this mess. We were heavily infiltrated, and these people joined the ANC in order to make money, and that is killing the ANC. But I want to believe that we still have a chance of going back to the ANC that we joined as early as 1976, and I want to believe that yes, we will win the war against criminals who have joined the ANC. We will.
Did you ever go to the ANC and tell them about how they're treating you and how they could change it?
The ANC that I know does not have doors where you can put such complaints. We only speak to ourselves. If we are lucky, we would be addressed by one of the leaders and we would tell them. They wouldn't take what we're saying seriously. It's just, a mess. Nobody at the moment listens to Umkhonto weSizwe. And I believe that this is deliberate. These are the people who know that we were serious about the struggle and we wouldn't allow corruption in our midst. Yes.